Responsible capitalism, though, also needs responsible companies. And I welcome very much the fact that Google's Big Tent allows us to discuss all the issues we face as a country and indeed as a world. And that takes me to the issue of tax, which has been controversial in the last few days, not just for Google, but for Apple and Amazon. Look, the first and primary responsibility of government is to set the right laws. And I welcome the fact that Google called at the weekend for international tax reform. We're very clear about what the government should be going to the G8 meetings with. They should be arguing for country-by-country transparency, so we know how much tax is being paid and how much profit is being made. Country by country, company by company. We need to reform the rules on transfer pricing, the crazy rules, frankly, that allows companies to shift profits from one jurisdiction to another. And we've got to crack down on offshore tax havens. Now, we need to get agreement internationally. But I also say this. A Labour government would be willing to act on its own here at home if we don't get international agreement. The question then is this. Do the responsibilities of the company simply lie in obeying the letter of the law? My answer to that is no. And I'll tell you why my answer to that is no. And it's captured very well in a letter that Larry Page and Sergey Brin wrote alongside Google's prospectus in 2004. This is what they said. Don't be evil. We've all heard of that. We will be stronger in the long term. We will be better served as shareholders and in all other ways by a company that does good things for the world, even if we forego some short-term gains. This is an important aspect of our culture and is broadly shared in the company. So what do I take out of that? That a company and its employees expect it to do the right thing. That customers expect it to do the right thing. That as a society, we need to set the right examples from the top. That the reputation of British business, and indeed business generally, depends on the most prominent companies like Google doing the right thing. And one other thing. If we're to have the tax revenues to fund the employees, the infrastructure, the health service, the education system on which Google relies, Google needs to do the right thing. That's why I spoke out after the Select Committee last week. I can't be the only person in this room who feels deeply disappointed that a great company like Google, with great founding principles, should be reduced to arguing that even though it employs thousands of people here in Britain, makes billions of pounds in revenue here in Britain, it's fair that it should pay just a fraction of 1% of that in tax. Now, I'm sorry that Eric Schmidt isn't here this morning to hear me say this directly. But when Google does great things, I will praise you. But when Eric Schmidt says that its current approach to tax is just capitalism, I disagree. And when Google goes to extraordinary lengths to avoid paying its taxes, I say it's wrong. And it's not just me that says it, it's Google's founding principles, and it's crystal clear from them.